Today on Investigate TV Plus, keeping America's troops healthy during training and on the battlefield.
Soldiers and military personnel are our number one human asset.
A veteran's brush with death highlights a health concern among our armed forces. We explore solutions.
You can experience it, or you might be the person that saves that person's life.
Then getting your eyes checked can reveal more than just your newest prescription.
She then came back in the room, handed me a piece of paper, and said, "I need you to go to the emergency room."
We arm you with critical information that could change the course of your next appointment and potentially help your health for years to come.
Plus, it's only 4 letters, but their LOVE has lasted decades.
She does most of the giving, I do most of the taking.
High school sweethearts show us how the most profound connections are spelled out in the simplest ways.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. As the number of Americans seeking high-intensity workouts increases, a rare but potentially life-threatening condition has become a concern for workout warriors. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. It's a term you might not know, rhabdomyolysis. According to the Cleveland Clinic, every year about 26,000 people in the U.S. develop the dangerous condition. It occurs when muscle tissue breaks down and releases a damaging protein into the blood.
While rhabdo, as it's commonly called, can occur after any kind of muscle damage, it's often caused by intense physical exertion, particularly in hot climates. Research shows cases have increased over the last 2 decades, one study reporting a 10-fold jump between the years of 2000 and 2019. Today, we want to educate you on the signs and symptoms to help potentially save a life.
While marathon runners and fitness newcomers alike are impacted, reporter Heather Graff explains how those serving in the military are particularly at risk.
I just known early on that she was a special kid. This is her.
As Kiara Evans tells it, her daughter Kiara had long dreamed of joining the armed forces, her heart set on following in her father and brother's footsteps.
I was very proud, and I just supported her on her decision.
In 2019, at 20 years old, the Louisiana native enlisted in the Navy.
She just was happy to do it.
But weeks later, a tragic and unexpected incident at boot camp near Chicago. Kiara collapsed during a physical fitness assessment.
They said that she was in the hospital, she was in critical condition, and I'm asking them what happened. And they said that she fell during the 1.5-mile run.
Within hours, Kiara was gone.
How do you even begin to process that as a mother?
You don't. So I didn't get a chance to be by her bedside. I didn't get a chance to tell her I love her. I didn't get a chance to do the things that mommies do.
According to Kiara's autopsy report, her cause of death was exertional rhabdomyolysis.
Do you think branches of the military are pushing these recruits too hard and too far?
Yes, they definitely is. Nobody signs up to die. That's not what they signed up for.
The condition is triggered by strenuous exercise that causes skeletal muscles to break down, often during activities like running or heavy lifting. In severe cases, it can lead to kidney failure and even death. Experts say the muscle injury is rare and largely preventable, but recent data from the DoD's Defense Health Agency showed an overall increase in cases in the military between 2019 and 2023. That final year, more than 500 service members were diagnosed, with nearly half hospitalized.
It is definitely an issue, and it's out there.
Dennis Schofield is a research exercise physiologist. He used to work for the U.S. Army Research Institute of Environmental Medicine, where he studied the risk factors for rhabdomyolysis.
We know that the Marine Corps maintains the highest PT standards, and it shows consistently, more than 2 times the exertional rhabdomyolysis risk than the Air Force or the Navy. And the Army's up there too.
In fact, according to the Defense Health Agency data, cases in the Army increased by nearly 30% over the 5-year surveillance period. But across all branches, recruits had the highest risk of exertional rhabdo, with rates 6 to 10 times greater than all other service members.
We have recruits coming from high school. They may or may not be that physically fit, and most of the training occurs in the summer months.
That last point, an important one, as 3/4 of rhabdo cases occur during warmer months of the year.
So you're much less likely to see it in someone who's been training and who's built up that tolerance.
Dr. Derek Fine of Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine says early recognition and treatment are crucial, with symptoms ranging from urine discoloration to nausea to muscle swelling and soreness.
Is there a sense of urgency?
Yes, because you don't know how severe it is, and if you get it early, you can usually prevent all the complications. And the main complication is really kidney injury or kidney failure.
According to the Cleveland Clinic, kidney injury occurs in up to half of rhabdo cases.
My kidneys are at 50% each.
It's a complication former Sergeant First Class Ferran Dozier experienced firsthand while serving in the Army in 2006.
Everything was spinning like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
It happened during an Army physical fitness test right after the final sprint of the 2-mile run. Ferran was rushed to the hospital.
Physically, I was in a very bad state. I had severe muscle damage. I could barely walk. But the mindset of a soldier, you don't complain.
He survived the ordeal and tried to get back to his old self, but says ongoing health problems ultimately led to his medical retirement in 2013.
I had a lot of mental and physical pain at that time.
And the pain is still with him today.
I'd never recovered fully. I still deal with the vertigo. If I move too fast or I move my head too fast, I could still trigger it.
Ferran has since dedicated his life to spreading education and awareness about rhabdo.
Anybody heard of rhabdo before?
Engaging military personnel, athletes, and youth nationwide.
You can experience it, or you might be the person that saves that person's life.
Given the intense mental and physical requirements, Ferran says it's a conversation that's especially important in the military.
There's a lot of push-ups, there's a lot of mountain crawls. It's the repetitive drills.
Soldiers and military personnel are our number one human asset. And so figuring out ways to protect that so that they can be combat ready when they finish training is super important.
The Defense Health Agency declined to speak on camera, but provided a statement saying in part, the military is committed through policy to leverage both exercise and environmental acclimatization for new recruits to minimize both heat casualties and exertional rhabdomyolysis, an important step. As experts say, prevention is key.
It's really about being careful, doing it slowly, starting with a less intense exercise.
I still don't comprehend it.
Kenya says she'll continue to push for accountability.
I'm going to fight for Kiara until my last breath.
Though she knows nothing can bring back her daughter.
It's not a day go by that I don't think about her. My life is not the same. My life will never be the same.
According to Kiara's autopsy report, in addition to exertional rhabdo, sickle cell trait was deemed a significant contributory factor in her death. Kenya says Kiara and her family had only just found out she possessed the trait during a health screening at boot camp. It occurs when a person carries a single gene for sickle cell disease. While most people with the trait show no symptoms, research shows it's associated with a 54% increase in exertional rhabdo, and Black people are particularly at risk. We spoke with Dr. Michael DeBon of Vanderbilt University School of Medicine, who says while we don't fully understand sickle cell trait's connection to rhabdo, two vital organs might be involved.
The individuals with sickle cell trait have a kidney concentration problem. We also know that they may have a higher rate of kidney disease than in the general population. So it could be in this situation of exertion where the individual becomes dehydrated, that they're more susceptible to that type of injury, namely rhabdomyolysis.
In 2023, the U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Command added a screening recommendation for sickle cell trait due to carriers' increased risk of exertional rhabdo.
The Navy declined to comment on Kiara's case, but provided a statement saying in part, the Navy takes this condition very seriously and along with other military services has devoted a great deal of study to develop prevention, recognition, and treatment protocols.
Still ahead, more than meets the eye.
So I think a lot of patients assume that if they have 20/20 vision, they're perfectly healthy and they have no other health conditions. But really the importance of getting checked, because there's so many other diseases that we can diagnose.
We'll show you how a routine eye exam can spot clues about your health.
But first, a controversial energy source making a comeback. But at what cost? We look at a fuel that drives nuclear power and examine how a renewed push to mine it could put a city's water source at risk. It's an energy supply America has used for more than 6 decades to generate nearly 20% of the country's electricity.
But nuclear power also brings environmental concerns connected to radioactive waste, including hazardous materials related to mining for uranium, a heavy metal that occurs in most rocks.
Uranium is a critical component for nuclear power that the U.S. has traditionally relied on foreign sources for. However, in recent years, the federal government has made several attempts to fuel the industry. In 2024, the Biden administration banned the import of uranium from Russia and unlocked nearly $3 billion in funding to help modernize reactors. A year later, President Trump signed a series of executive orders to help quadruple the nation's nuclear energy capacity. This puts a spotlight on the country's once abandoned uranium mines, and we've uncovered how restarting production could impact a city's water supply.
Investigative reporter Morgan Lowe shows us how the largest reservoir of clean drinking water in Phoenix, Arizona, could be at risk of contamination.
We are driving east from Phoenix into the high desert and toward the Sierra Ancha Mountains. From motor vehicle to our own 2 feet, we hike up what was once a road, now barely passable as a trail.
It is rugged out here.
After an hour of hiking, we find what we're looking for. It's little more than a small hole in the rock on the side of the mountain. But this was a uranium mine. The radioactive fuel that was mined in this mountain range decades ago is gaining new interest. Arizona's 3 largest utilities, Tucson Electric Power, APS, and SRP, are planning to build a second nuclear power plant, as nuclear energy across the country is experiencing a revival.
We think that it's really critical and exciting.
Bobby Olson is the Assistant General Manager for Sustainability at SRP. He says nuclear makes sense to address the state's growing appetite for electricity, from microchip plants to high-rise towers to sprawling neighborhoods.
So if we start today, from a planning perspective, we might be able to have nuclear in the plan by the late 30s, early 40s.
Nuclear power plants are fueled by uranium-235. It's a radioactive element that is only found in high concentrations in about a dozen states. This map shows the locations of Arizona's other known uranium deposits, and there's a high concentration of them in the Sierra Anchas. 10 years ago, we hiked to one of the largest open, abandoned uranium mines in the mountain range, and we followed the water as it drained out of the mine entrance, through the canyon, into Cherry Creek, to the Salt River, and into Roosevelt Lake, the Phoenix area's largest reservoir of fresh drinking water. Some of the creeks and campsites have signs warning visitors not to camp overnight and not to drink the water because of radiation. And these mines have been closed for more than 50 years.
The track record for this industry is abysmal.
Taylor McKinnon is the Southwest Director of the environmental group, the Center for Biological Diversity. He argues that restarting uranium mining, especially near drinking water sources, is a bad idea.
You look at the literature that uranium mining companies put out now, and they say that what they do now is safe for the environment. Should we believe them?
No, we should not believe them because it's not safe for the environment.
Officials at SRP are in an unusual situation. They are co-investors in Arizona's new nuclear power plant, but they are also custodians of the reservoirs on the Salt River, including Roosevelt Lake. In a statement, SRP officials told us they are not aware of any plans to perform exploratory or production uranium mining on any lands in the Sierra Ancha Mountains. If any such plans develop, SRP would be very interested in ensuring that the activities do not compromise the water quality of the water resources in the area.
Trying to mine uranium in Phoenix's watershed, I think, would be pretty unpopular for most people in the greater Metro Phoenix area.
Our investigation found in 2011 a mining company, Uranium Energy Corp., purchased old mines and mining claims in the Sierra Anchas, while an official with the company told us they did not have development plans for that region. In SEC filings, the company stated any new mining activity will depend on the price of uranium. If the price goes up, the likelihood of new mining increases.
Coming up, a routine appointment turns into a medical emergency.
How a simple test revealed a life-altering diagnosis. An annual eye exam doesn't just determine if you need glasses or contacts. Experts say your eyes can reveal a lot about your overall health.
Through an eye exam, doctors say they can identify the early warning signs of chronic diseases, including cancer, diabetes, and stroke.
Reporter Adam Murphy explains how an optometrist in Atlanta detected a patient's life-altering condition.
Does one eye feel like it's more red, or is the color different between the two eyes?
Yes.
Andrea Medford knows the importance of getting a routine eye exam as well as anybody.
I'm just going to go in and patch one eye.
And in June of 2024, it became even clearer.
I, was in shock.
She woke up with blurry vision in one eye and contacted Briggs Vision Group in Dunwoody to schedule a checkup. That decision may have saved her vision.
She then came back in the room, handed me a piece of paper, and said, I need you to go to the emergency room.
As you can see where she was missing a lot of her whole vision here, and then it was depressed everywhere else.
Dr. Rebecca Briggs Garnier conducted a series of vision tests, including the red cap exam, before offering a diagnosis of optic neuritis, which occurs when swelling damages the optic nerve.
Her good eye saw the red perfectly, and the bad eye was very muted, looked more like a burgundy grayish color. So we knew at that point it was optic neuritis.
That's when Medford was told to go to the emergency room. And what happened next, no one could see coming.
I get to my hospital room. An emergency department doctor came into my room once I was in there and said that, we need to talk about paperwork and your MS diagnosis.
Medford was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and spent a week in the hospital before her vision returned. Briggs Vision Group stressed the importance of an eye exam, which can identify more than 200 diseases.
So I think a lot of patients assume that if they have 20/20 vision, they're perfectly healthy and they have no other health conditions. But really the importance of getting checked, because there's so many other diseases that we can diagnose.
If it wasn't for her, I would not know I have MS.
Medford said she has found success managing her condition and has not experienced any other flare-ups. Up next, they've been playing the same game for 6 decades. How one couple discovered their secret to lasting romance isn't winning, it's never stopping the match.
Celebrating 60 years of marriage is no small feat, but a couple in West Alabama says they're taking it one letter at a time.
You see, every week they sit down and play a beloved board game they got as a wedding present. Reporter Judd Davis shows us how their matchups help keep the magic alive.
Got it. Hey, Dickie. Kitty and John Lampkin are high school sweethearts. They just celebrated 60 years of marriage.
It's a lot of give and take. She does most of the giving, I do most of the taking.
As newlyweds, they got something that changed their life, letter by letter, and they still have it.
This is the original Scrabble game and the original board.
So, 4 or 5 times a week for the last 60 years, they face off making words and scoring points.
And it's just been a lot of fun, something we do together, and we've been doing all our lives, and here we are in old age and we're still doing it. So
it's challenging, and it's easy to set up, it's easy to put up.
Kitty is a former teacher, John a former coach, and they like to compete.
I get 9 points.
Nobody's gonna stab or cut each other, but it's serious business. She will stay on the borderline edge of cheating.
Just go ahead and say it. He says I cheat, but I really don't.
Anytime you pick up a dictionary and look up a word and then play it or to back it up, I consider that cheating.
They each have their own style of play.
I like to play it from the standpoint of seeing how many times I can play all 7 tiles on one play.
I like to play defense. So I will play to block him more than make points.
She wants to keep it closed in, and then she wants, bingo, she'll hit you. So I know what to look for now.
He should. They've been doing this since 1965. Winning never gets old.
That is a hoot and a half. All right, you won.
I will say this, I don't disagree with him. I think using the dictionary is against the rules, right? It's kind of cheating.
Yeah, but they've been playing so long, they probably have their own rules.
They
by
do
now.
have their own rules.
You know, like Uno, you have your own rules at home and the rules somewhere else.
That's true.
So it's a fun game, though.
It is. Good stuff. And that's it for us here on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Thanks for watching.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, recent aviation disasters and close calls put a spotlight on the staff and technology keeping you safe in the skies. But we found it's an issue spanning decades.
We can no longer kick the can down the road, as the saying goes. We need to sit and fix the problem.
We examine the issues and explore a plan that aims to overhaul the air traffic control system.